Chisom was a kind-hearted girl who lived in the small village of Umuma. She was as hardworking as she was kind, always ready to help anyone in need. Sadly, life had not been easy for her. After her mother passed away, her father married Adaku, a woman who did not like Chisom. Adaku had 2 children of her own, and she treated them like royalty, while Chisom did all the housework. Adaku's children, Nneka and Chuka, were lazy and spoiled. They spent their days playing and eating, while Chisom cooked, fetched water, cleaned the house, and even went to the forest to gather firewood. Despite this, Chisom remained cheerful and found solace in her pet cat, Nkem. Nkem was her only companion and often followed her wherever she went. One sunny afternoon, Adaku called Chisom into the kitchen. "Chisom, the firewood is finished," she barked. "Go to the forest and get some before the sun sets." Chisom nodded and picked up her basket. Without complaint, she headed to the forest, with Nkem trailing behind her. As Chisom collected firewood, she noticed an old woman struggling to lift a heavy bundle of sticks. The woman's back was bent, and her steps were slow and unsteady. Chisom immediately dropped her basket and ran to help. "Let me help you, Mama," she said gently. The old woman smiled, her tired face lighting up. "Thank you, my child. May the gods bless you for your kindness." Chisom carried the bundle of firewood to the woman's small hut at the edge of the forest. When they arrived, the old woman invited Chisom inside. The hut was humble, with a mat on the floor and a pot boiling over a small fire. "You have a good heart, my child," the old woman said. "I want to bless you with something special." She handed Chisom a small, beautifully carved wooden bowl. "This is a magic bowl. But it will only work after you have helped 2 more elderly people in your village. Then, and only then, you may open it." Chisom thanked the old woman and carefully placed the bowl in her basket. She then returned home, wondering what wonders the bowl might hold. The next day, Chisom was sent to fetch water from the stream. On her way, she saw an old man struggling to push his wheelbarrow filled with yams. Without hesitation, Chisom put her bucket down and helped him push the wheelbarrow to his house. "Thank you, my daughter," the old man said, blessing her with a smile. Later that week, Chisom was on her way to the market when she saw an old woman trying to carry a heavy pot of water. Chisom ran to her side and offered to carry it. "May the gods reward you, my child," the woman said gratefully. With these 2 acts of kindness, Chisom fulfilled the old woman's instructions. That evening, she sat in her small room with Nkem by her side and opened the magic bowl. To her amazement, the bowl was filled with gold coins, sparkling jewels, and other treasures. When Adaku saw the treasures, her eyes widened in greed. "Where did you get this?" she demanded. Chisom told her stepmother everything: the old woman in the forest, the magic bowl, and the acts of kindness she had performed. Adaku's mind immediately began scheming. "Nneka, Chuka," she called. "Tomorrow, you will go to the forest and find that old woman. Bring me a magic bowl of your own." The next morning, Nneka and Chuka set off for the forest. They were lazy and rude but determined to get their hands on a bowl of fortune. When they reached the forest, they found the old woman collecting firewood. She greeted them kindly. "What brings you here, my children?" "We came to get a magic bowl," Nneka said bluntly. "Ah, I see," the old woman replied. "But first, will you help me carry this firewood to my hut?" "Help you?" Chuka scoffed. "Do we look like laborers? If you have the bowl, give it to us now." The old woman frowned but said nothing. She led them to her hut and showed them 2 bowls. "Take whichever one you like," she said. Without thanking her, Nneka and Chuka grabbed the bowls and ran. On their way home, Nneka and Chuka insulted everyone they passed. They laughed at a farmer struggling with his plow and mocked a woman carrying a crying baby. By the time they reached home, they were smug and excited. "We'll open them now," Nneka announced. "Wait," Chisom interrupted. "The bows won't work unless you help two elderly people first." "Mind your business," Chuka snapped. "We don't need your advice." Ignoring Chisom, they opened the bows. As soon as the bows were opened, a swarm of bees flew out, stinging Nneka and Chuka. Snakes slithered out and hissed menacingly, sending them running in fear. Adaku tried to close the bows, but it was too late. Chaos filled the house. Nneka and Chuka cried and begged for help, but there was nothing anyone could do. Adaku realized her greed had brought misfortune upon her family. As for Chisom, her life took a turn for the better. The treasures from the magic bowl allowed her to build a beautiful home. She married a kind and loving man, and together they raised a happy family. Chisom never forgot the old woman's lesson: kindness and humility always lead to blessings. And so, she lived a long and fulfilling life, surrounded by love and happiness. Adaku, Nneka, and Chuka learned their lesson the hard way. They became outcasts in the village, a reminder to everyone of the consequences of greed and rudeness. This story teaches us the value of kindness, patience, and humility. It reminds us that true blessings come to those who have good hearts.